Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You know the drill by now, don't you? Subscribe, like, share, and drop your comments below. Wike, Atiku, now PDP's divider-in-chief, incapable of winning. Tinubu, presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has solicited mass pity for the People's Democratic Party PDP candidate Al-Haji Atiku Abubakar, saying the latter's presidential ambition is fast slipping away due to his altercation with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. He said instead of being a unifier, Atiku is now a divider-in-chief, and advised him to kiss his ill-fated presidential bid a goodbye. Once again, another bid for the presidency of our country by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is slipping away. This is unraveling before our very eyes, even before the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) blows the whistle for electioneering campaign, Tinubu said in a statement by the Director, Media and Publicity of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Mr. Bayo Onanuga. Noting that Atiku's PDP is in disarray, Tinubu added that the signs are just too ominous for the Waziri Adamawa, especially with the report by the Economic Intelligence Unit predicting yet another thrashing for him in the forthcoming polls. Tinubu said, after violating his party's code for power rotation between the North and South and grabbing the PDP ticket without a modicum of sensibilities about our national ethos, Al-Haji Atiku is now faced with the karma of his inordinate ambition. The PDP has imploded in a battle of attrition, the result of which is predictable: the ongoing fratricidal war where a faction of the party being led by the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike is engaging Atiku in a fight to finish has undermined any momentum the PDP candidate had hoped to build. With further loss of confidence in PDP by its own members who cannot find any redeeming feature in the fast disappearing party, it is crystal clear that Atiku's latest bid for the Nigeria's top job has hit the rocks. A pillar of Atiku's campaign is the claim of being a unifier and nationalist. That bogus claim has now been discredited, even within his party, as the disaffected members cry for justice and inclusivity. Instead of the perennially running and perennially failing candidate to offer them some sup, he has rebuffed them, pleading that he could not grant their request for justice. Surely, a man who cannot resolve a genuine dispute among his party members, who cannot forge an entity among them, cannot be expected to unify our country. Instead of being a unifier, Atiku is now a divider-in-chief. Ensure to subscribe, like, share, and comment on the video. Apologies for the break, guys. Let's get back to the news. The APC standard bearer added that Atiku's campaign on this score is heading for a stillbirth, just as some of his programs have been found to be nothing new, as they are already being implemented by the APC administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The former vice president created a crisis for himself by pushing the fallacy that only a northern candidate can win the presidency for his party, despite the open record that Southerners, when they network with their northern compatriots, can also win the election. Former leaders Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and Dr. Goodluck Jonathan demonstrated this in 1999, 2003, and 2011. As a campaign, we can only pity former Vice President Atiku for the self-inflicted injury he invited onto himself. Chinua Achebe, the very accomplished novelist in one of his classics, Arrow of God, wrote that a man who brought ant-infested faggots into the homestead should not grumble when lizards begin to pay him a visit. Atiku brought this onto himself, and we dare say he can kiss his ill-fated presidential bid goodbye, Tinubu declared. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has taken a swipe at the campaign council of the All Progressives Congress over its attempts to dabble into the internal affairs of the PDP. Atiku, who spoke through his media advisor, Mazi Paul Ibe, in Abuja on Friday, gave the advice in response to the APC presidential campaign's claim that Atiku's ambition was tearing the PDP apart. The PDP presidential candidate spokesman said, reading through a disingenuous press release by the APC Presidential Campaign Council on issues pertaining to developments within the PDP comes across as a laughable work of an interloper. The release is disingenuous because it lacks any merit of a reasonable intellectual riposte. Rather, it exposes the APC and its presidential candidate as a bunch of busybodies who, rather than focus on the burden of credibility that continues to dog their campaign, are poking their nose into minor internal issues of the PDP. Well, since the APC Presidential Campaign Organization seems to have woken up from their state of hibernation, it is good to remind them that there are pending questions about the social and educational history of their candidate that Nigerians want answers to. We shall be kind enough to remind the APC that when in the next few days campaigns begin in earnest, Nigerians will require answers to some weighty character questions about their candidate, and rather than expend precious time on what is never their business, should use the remaining few days judiciously. Secondly, whatever is happening in the PDP is a conversation among leaders of the party, and that in itself is a reflection of the PDP as a living and engaging political party. The conversation in the PDP is all about consensus building, which in itself is a major ingredient for peace and unity. The PDP, as a truly democratic party, understands that democracy is a lively concept because it allows for people to express their opinions, and it is within that understanding that everyone becomes part of the process. The same, of course, cannot be said of the APC, where what exists is at best graveyard peace. It is on record that in the 7 years and more that the APC has been in power, and with the attendant hardship that the country has foisted on the ordinary people of Nigeria, the candidate of the APC, former Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had not for one single time stood on the side of the people. And that is so for the obvious reason that the presidential candidate of the APC considers his poorly conceived presidential ambition more important than the adversity that his party has unleashed on the vast majority of Nigerians. We wish to remind the APC that its presidential candidate has to own the failures of the party in the last 7 years plus. He should also know that Nigerians will not reward their failure with nothing less than a resounding loss in the election. The Atiku campaign also said Tinubu and the APC malule. I don't know if I got that right. It is important to let Tinubu and his paid agents know that what obtains in the PDP is not the mundane stoicism that the APC is known for. Indeed, the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has established credibility before the masses of this country that he is one patriot who can be counted on to stand by the side of the people even when the times are hard. Atiku is a Democrat to the core, and that is evident in the way that he continues to carry on with the responsibility of ensuring that the PDP rescues Nigeria from the stranglehold of the APC in the next year's general election. That's the news, guys. Join us again soon. Bye.